Everybody, Tyler Williams here for another Kaladesh Draft League on my birthday, which also happens to be election day. Fun, fun. Um, Not the best pack in the world that we've opened here. I think Glimmer of Genius is great, and so is Long Tusk Cub. I think Long Tusk Club is the pretty clear pick here. It's pretty much a mythic uncommon. If you have this on the play on turn 2, and your opponent doesn't have an immediate answer to it, it just runs away with the game. Green's also the best color, um, and it's just a solid pick. So we're going to go with the Long Tusk Cub. Other cards to note is the Glimmer of Genius, which is a good card. And a Malphus squad, I think, is the next best card. So overall, a pretty weak pack. But we're just going to take the Long Tusk Cub here. And wait for our other picks to finish up. See, we have an error responder here, and we also have fabrication module. There's also an Aether Theorist, Parallel Pioneer, Thriving Rats, Foundry Screecher. Overall, a pretty decent pack. I think it's pretty close between the fabrication module and the aerial responder. We could play this and follow that up with our energy card and Long Tusk Cub. Aerial responder, though, is just excellent. Green-white is one of the better color combinations, I think. It is kind of tough. Like this card tends to dirt a little bit, but if you have enough energy payoffs, you can really get there with fabrication module. Interesting choice here. We could decide to have fun or not a whole lot of fun. Hello. Yeah. All right. Love you. All right, so I just decided to take the fabrication module. That's probably wrong, but who cares? We're gonna have some fun today on my birthday. There's an era of innovation here, which goes pretty well with the fabrication module. It's also a Spire Bluff Canal, which I'm not going to pick that, even though it's worth a couple tickets online. Not really a whole lot else here in this pack. I think I'm just going to speculate and take this Era of Innovation, and maybe we can get there with the fabrication module and the Long Tusk Cub. Yeah, I think we're going to try to do it. We're going to try to do it. Oh, there's an Aether Torch Renegade now? Man. Are we going to do it? I mean, this is a great card for the energy deck. You can ping little X1s. You can also go to the dome. It gets 4 energy when it enters the field. So with Fabrication Module, it makes a 2/3. There's actually not really a whole lot else in this pack anyway. There's a Puzzle Knot, which you're not looking to play. Overall, the pack doesn't really have a lot of options. There's a Bomat Courier, but we're long past the point of going and building a Bomat Courier deck, so we're just going to take the Renegade. There's an Aether Hub here, which is great if we're looking to go 3-color. There's also a Thriving Grubs. This is actually a pretty interesting pick between the Grubs and the Aether Hub. I think those are pretty clearly our two choices here. So we could follow up our Renegade with the Grubs, or we could just hope to go 3-color and pick up the Aether Hub. Decisions. I think I'm just going to take the Hub here, because I'm still not certain that I'm necessarily going to be red. Whereas I think having this Fabrication Module and Long Tusk Hub and Era of Innovation, I definitely want to be at least blue-green. So I'm just going to take the Aether Hub. Okay, well, here's another Thriving Grubs, and I think at this point I am going to take this. There's not really a whole lot else here. Maybe the Puzzle Knot, but Thriving Grubs having energy is great. Giving us another 2-drop. We'll just take it and be happy. And we follow that up with potentially a Prophetic Prism to try to go 3-color. There's a High Spire Artisan, but you can pick up these later on. This is a really late Prophetic Prism. I'm surprised that it's made it this far, and I'm going to be happy to just snatch that up while I can. And a late attune too. Okay, this is going great for us. Really couldn't ask for anything better than that this late in pack 1. So we're going to take the attune and be happy. This is the pack that we opened, and I think I'm okay with picking a Cathartic Reunion. We could also take Tezzeret's Ambition, but I don't think we want to be that slow since we have all these energy cards already. Cathartic Reunion, if we have like a land heavy hand with a tune, we can just throw away the lands that we have that are in excess. I'll just take that and maybe we'll play it. I'll probably follow this up with a Wayward Giant. I don't think we would play a second Cathartic Reunion, and I don't think we need to pick up a Demolish this early in the draft, so I'll just take a Wayward Giant. Probably won't play it. Curio Vendor versus Live Fast. I'm not going to rule out black. I'll just take the black, because it is an energy card. It's not something we necessarily splash for, but... so it's either the Puzzle Knot or Failed Inspection. I'll take the Puzzle Knot. And here I will take the Rush Vitality, because that's a really late rush. I'm not going to rule out black yet. We only really have one blue card anyway. Okay, I'll take the Foil, Club Security, and the Forest. So let's see how we can follow this up in pack 2. Come on, good pack. So I think at this point we do want to be at least red-green energy. And maybe if we open a Whirler Virtuoso, we would splash the Air of Innovation in the Whirler. Well, there we go. There's this. There's also a Renegade Freighter. But we already have the Air of Innovation and the Fabrication module. It seems like we need to go deep here. And like I said, it's my birthday. Let's have some fun. Let's take the Whirler Virtuoso and try to get there. I am sad to pass this, but I'm happy to get this. So let's do it. And with that, we probably won't play this Live Fast. We could. We already have Prophetic Prism and a Tune and an Aether Hub, so splashing a 4th color isn't out of the question, but we wouldn't splash it for something like Live Fast. Let's just put it that way. Okay, well, there's a massive bomb. This card is fantastic, and I'm very glad to pick that up. There's also another Fabrication module here, which is nice, and Inventor's Goggles. And also a Seed Sculptor, but Rashmi is just a straight-up bomb. Very hard to beat this card. Just going to slam it. And we get a Voltaic Brawler, too, so this is going really good. There's also a Thriving Rhino in this pack, but it's not better than Voltaic Brawler, I don't think. We could try to wheel the Wild Wanderer, which would help a lot. There's also a Janjeet Sentry, but I haven't been too impressed by this card. I think 2 energy to tap a creature is bad, but 1 was probably too powerful, which is why they probably adjusted it. Chief of the Foundry is good, but isn't great in this deck. It is good with Whirler, though, that's for sure, but that's pretty much the only card. So I'm just going to jam the Brawler here. And here's a Cloud Blazer, which is cool. We could splash a 4th color, but I don't want to go too deep just to play this, even though this is a fantastic card. We already have a Rashmi, which is basically just a better Cloud Blazer in my opinion. I think we should play the Riparian Tiger. We do have a decent amount of 2s already, and this is just another energy payoff, so I'll just take the Tiger. I think it's just a little bit enough better than Seed Sculptor. And this format's a lot about log jams on the ground, and Tiger helps break through those pretty easily. It's a nice big creature, so we'll just jam it. Okay, there's an Aether Theorist, which I think is good. There's a Sage, which I think is very medium. This deck would probably play 1, but I think Aether Theorist is probably the way to go here. And we could just be solidly 3 colors at this point if we get enough tunes back. I think we could wheel this Sage if we needed to, and I think the Aether Theorist is just the better card, so that's going to be my pick. Well, there's a Nature's Way. That's really late, and that's a really good sign. There's also a Self-Assembler, but I can't pass this Nature's Way. I don't have any removal spells right now, and this will be the first one I pick up, and it's a good one for sure, so I'm going to be happy to take it. Okay, there's a High Spire Artist and a Cal Prowler, which is actually playable in this format. 6/6 is huge here. Also a Creeping Mold. I think I could wheel this if I needed to, because somebody would probably take High Spire before they took Creeping Mold. But it is interesting to note that I'm a little weak to flyers right now, so maybe I should just take the High Spire Artisan. There's also Nimble Innovator, but I think High Spire Artisan is a little bit better. Yeah, I'll take it. Well, not a whole lot here. I could take down for the sideboard or larger than life in case I get some card late, like a Electrostatic Pummeler in the next pack or something like that. So yeah, I'll just take the larger than life. Okay, here's a Glintnest Crane, which we're not going to take because we don't have any artifacts. Here's a Cal Prowler. I could see playing at least one in the main deck, so I'm just going to jam it. There's another High Spire Artisan, which I think is a good pick. We look like we're kind of developing into a defensive deck, which having Fabrication Module and Whirler Virtuoso actually kind of puts us in that camp to begin with, so we'll be happy to pick up another Artisan. And we will jam this Wild Wanderer. We're very happy to pick that up. That helps our splash tremendously. Also fills our recurve pretty nicely. Trade Winds versus Vedalken Blade Master. I like Trade Winds quite a bit. I'm not sure if this is the kind of deck that's going to play it or not. It is nice to replay an Aether Theorist to get more energy, so maybe I start one. Hijack versus Refurbish. This one's in my color and this one's not, so I'm just going to take the Hijack. And I'll take a second larger than life and Forest. So now we're just looking to close out, and we have another Renegade Freighter here that we could pick up, but I don't think this is a Freighter deck. There's a Hellion, Lathneu Hellion, but I don't think we're aggressive enough to play it. Filigree Familiar, which my stock on that card has dropped dramatically. Ultimately, there's not a whole lot here. I could play the Seed Sculptor. It's also a P-Foul, which is actually a decent card. So I think the pick is between the Seed Sculptor and the Freighter. I did say earlier I'm not sure this is a Freighter deck. I have a lot of 1-power creatures. And even though I do have these aggressive cards like Thriving Groves and Long Tusk Cub and Voltaic Brawler, maybe I should just play the Freighter. Yeah, I'm going to play it. I think it's just a little bit better than Kujar Seed Sculptor. Or at least, obviously it is a much better card, but I think it's a little bit closer, just given the deck that I've built so far, but I think I'm just going to take the Freighter. Well, we're glad to pick up this Harness Lightning. Fits in our deck perfectly. There's also a lot of good cards in this pack in general. There's a Weaponcraft Enthusiast, there's an Augmenter. Impeccable Timing is okay. But yeah, glad to get this Harness Lightning. So we have 2 removal spells, the Nature's Way and the Harness Lightning. Gonti is just straight bomb, but we're past the point of play. We could play a second Era of Innovation, but that could be going too deep. There's also a Sky Skiff and an Ear Construct. I actually like this card quite a bit. Let's see how many creatures I have right now. So 1, 2, 3, 4 2-drops, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drops, and then 4 3-drops, 2 4-drops, and 2 5-drops, and a 6-drop. So can't afford to play another Era. Well, if you get 2 of these on the field, you start to go nuts with Whirler, right? Sure, why not? Okay, this card is interesting. A lot of people think this card is bad. It's actually a pretty legitimate win condition in the right kind of deck, and I actually think this is the deck that could pull it off. There's actually not a whole lot else here that we're too excited about, so I'm just going to take it and let's see how we can use that best in this deck. Okay, there's a Glass Puzzle Knot. There's a Capture by the Consulate, but I'm not really looking to splash a fourth color. I don't want to get too greedy. There's also the Woodweaver's Puzzle Knot, and then Inventor's Goggles, which I don't think we really have any Artificers anyway. So I think it's between these two puzzle knots, which seems kind of bad, but I actually think we're going to take the Glassblower's Puzzle Knot. I think Scry 2 is better than gaining 3 life, and I think we're more than defensive enough that we might play this, we might not. Another Thriving Grubs. Pretty glad to pick that up. We can be. This deck looks like it can be aggressive if it wants to. Lots of black in this pack, which is an interesting thing to note. But yeah, glad to take the Thriving Grubs. Okay, off color. There's also Appetite, which I'm going to be glad to take over the Sage or the Consulate Skygate, because we don't really have any Artifact or Enchantment removal in our deck at this point. Black seems super open, because I did get that late rush in pack 1, and then this is really late Daredevil. So we're just going to take Appetite, though. Yeah, black is super open. There's a Make Obsolete Subtle Strike. Narnum Cobra versus Consulate Skygate. I do think this is the deck for Skygate, especially since it has reach, so it protects against flyers. We also already have 2 High Spire Artisans, though, so maybe we just take the Narnum Cobra. Especially since we have the Nature's Way, it's a nice combo. I'll just take the Cobra. Okay, Kingpin, Automaton, and unexciting cards. I'll take the Automaton. I would see maybe reading this card out of the sideboard. Okay, I think Puzzle Knot's a decent sideboard card. Just take the best card of the pack, which none of these cards are really good, except I guess the Pressure Point's the best card. I'll just take the Energy card anyway. Okay, we'll take the Foundry Screecher and the Salivating Gremlins. Probably won't play this Trade Winds or this Wayward Giant. And we could probably get away with 16 lands, since we have an Attune and a Prophetic Prism. I could maybe just cut the Cow Prowler and play the Wayward Giant. Cow Prowler is really nice, though. 6/6 is very hard to beat in this format, so maybe I just don't play the Giant. Since I don't know if I'll be attacking or not. Let's group creatures separately and see what we're going to play. Maybe not play the Cathartic Reunion. And cut one more card. Do I want 16 or 17 lands? I think we can get away with 16 since we do have the Attune and we do have the Prophetic Prism. Our curve looks a little weird, though, because we have these early blue cards. Let's see what we have right now. I think 7, so 8 green is fine since we have Attune, the Aether Hub, and the Prophetic Prism. And we actually have more blue than red, so maybe we just evenly split these, or maybe go 3/5. Go ahead and add this. Maybe I just add, maybe I cut a card and add another island. But I do have this Wild Wanderer as well. So when do I want blue? I do want blue. I want Redcon early for my Thriving Groves, whereas I don't care about playing Atheist early necessarily. Maybe I just don't play a second Era of Innovation. Or maybe I just don't play the Freighter. Yeah, maybe I just cut the Freighter. Yeah, let's do that and add up Island. Seems weird to cut such a good card. I do think this is the best common in the set, between that and Welding Sparks. So I'll add another Island. And we'll try to run this and see how it goes.